r/AskReddit by Redmond ETS. Extremely shy people, how did you find your significant other? We met on a looking for friends subreddit. Started texting, got comfortable enough to voice chat, then FaceTime, then in real life. We're married now. The internet has a lot of bad, but also a lot of good. Surprisingly wholesome Reddit meetup. An extrovert claimed me. He was friends with my college roommate. Later found out it was friends with benefits. He teased me for being a goody-goody nerd. We were in some of the same classes. He would always sit next to me and make the opposite of whatever point I made. Regularly followed me out of class and made up excuses to continue the conversation argument. I finally asked my roommate why he hated me so much, and she was like, "Fool, he is obsessed with you." A couple months went by and my car broke down. Actually, it ran out of gas because I'm a dumbass during a thunderstorm. Called my roommate for a ride. He offered to get me himself since she had a paper due. He kissed me tentatively in the car. I saw fireworks and kissed him back harder. Cut to us making out in his car in the middle of the thunderstorm. He's good looking, charming in an obnoxious juvenile sense of humor sort of way, and a great kisser. So we're together now and I like him a lot. But if he hadn't pushed every step of the way, we wouldn't be. My brother needed a place to stay and I was currently renting a 2-bedroom apartment, so I'll let him rent the other bedroom. Worked out well. There was 2 bathrooms, one on each side of the place, so we each had our own bedroom and bathroom. Didn't have to share. He had a longtime friend I would hear about from time to time named Sam. Never hinted either way if it was a guy or a girl, and I never asked. I had just assumed it was a male friend since most of his friends are guys. One day I was chilling in the living room enjoying a much earned day off. I worked 2 jobs and at the time was putting in around 70 hours a week. I was single, so figured I might as well work a bunch so I can afford to take nice vacations, see the world, have fun. Here I was, exhausted, drinking beer in my tore up comfy laundry day clothes with no care in the world. My kitty cat runs across the living room. She was being chased by my brother's friend Sam. In walks the most beautiful woman I had ever seen. I paused my game, introduced myself, and we instantly hit it off. We talked for about 5 minutes, and then she disappeared into my brother's room. A few hours later, she stalked me online and slid into my DMs. That was almost 14 years ago. We've been together ever since. We've had 2 kids together, got married and bought a house. Or, you better not have stolen your brother's crush though. Had an activity in common. He considered me a stuck-up snob because I never talked to anyone ever. We ended up on the same team, so conversation eventually started. He broke me out of my shell a lot and I'm actually more extroverted. I have a lot of social anxiety though. Social gatherings of any kind drain my battery. Bookstores, more magical than you think. It was just another quiet afternoon spent browsing through the fantasy section of my local bookstore when I accidentally knocked a rather large tome off the shelf. Before I could even register my blunder, a hand reached out and caught the book before it hit the ground. I looked up, ready to mutter a quick thanks, onto the face of someone who seemed just as surprised to be holding the book as I was to see them. Turns out, they were a regular too, often lost in the sci-fi collection across from my usual haunt. We struck up a conversation about our favorite authors, which led to coffee at the bookstore cafe, and more book discussions. With each chapter we shared about our lives, the plot thickened, and I found myself looking forward to the bookstore not just for the stories on the shelves, but for the one developing right in front of them. That was 3 years and countless book dates ago. We're now writing our own story together, and it's my favorite one yet. Found an even shyer man, absolutely brilliant fellow, renting a basement room from my mom's friends. After a couple months of hanging out, I dragged him to a local cemetery. The roof of the mausoleum was perfect for stargazing, and asked him what he'd do if I kissed him. Man, I was shaking. My cousin introduced me to my significant other. When we met we didn't say more than 4 words to each other. 2 days later my cousin threatened me in myriad ways until I agreed to call the lady she introduced me to. I did, thinking it'd be an awkward conversation. We hit it off, been together almost 12 years now. He is extremely extroverted and says quiet people are the most interesting to talk to. Friend request on Facebook. My partner is my complete opposite. Can instantly make friends with anybody, whereas when I try that I make people uncomfortable and myself as well. Pure blind luck and shared interests. We were both space nerds and we were the only 2 kids in high school astronomy who cared. I moved to sit next to him on like the second week of class because I sensed this was someone I could talk about space with, and we quickly became friends. Relationship grew out of that. We did our wedding dance to fly me to the moon to commemorate it. I'd say my boyfriend is the shy one. He said he had a massive crush on me, but when he saw me put my hand on the arm of another guy who I had just started going out with, that's when he knew for sure he had to do something about it. Called me a few days later and told me how he felt. We've been together since. Every single day is better than the last with him. I get to see a side to him that no one else does. I love that man. I met my wife on Tinder. I was super shy and didn't have the courage to approach girls in person back there, so leveraging an online approach helped to break the ice and make the first date more natural, since we were talking for days over chat already. Honestly, Omegle. We started by mainly texting and then called on the phone, played online games together. Eventually we worked up the courage to video call, and then a year later she moved across the country to live with me. Been going strong 2 years now. That's all folks. Thank you for watching. If you like videos like this one, why not like and subscribe for more? Have a nice evening.